Most climbers have chalk bags, like one of these. What I prefer is a chalk bucket because you can fit all kinds of stuff in a chalk bucket. I have all sorts of things in this pouch, and here are 10 things that every climber should have in their chalk bucket. Number 1 is chocolate. Every climber needs some chocolate. Isn't that right, Dexter? Number 2 is every climber needs some refreshment. So here's this. Now, every climber also knows that they need some calories, so I always keep a stick of butter to munch on during the climb. I also get bored often, so I always bring some playing cards so that we can play some poker. I also pack a cup of coffee in my climbing bag because I always need some caffeine during the climbs. Pizza rolls are also my go-to snack for when I climb. Sometimes I forget to water my houseplants, so I always make sure to bring them along so I can water them while I climb. I also sometimes get lonely, so I bring my buddy Chungus on my climbs to keep me company.
Oh boy, Chungus, yeah.
You might notice that I just like food, so I also keep a loaf of bread in my chalk bag.
Got a carbo load.
I also like to bring a change of clothes because sometimes I get sweaty. So I bring my yukata. But all jokes aside, here are 3 things that I actually bring with me every single time I climb, whether it be indoors, outdoors, at the bouldering gym, or wherever. The first one is something that you might not think of. It's actually super glue. A lot of us have these calluses, and one of the worst things are these flappers. You might notice this callus right here if it zooms in, but I had something called a flapper. A piece of skin was just hanging off, and especially if it's deep, it's really painful when they rip off. So hilariously, I just super glue the skin back, and it prevents those flappers from pulling back off. The next thing that I always bring with me is super important because one of the most painful things for my ears and for me physically is when people with long fingernails climb and they scrape on the climbing holds. It is so annoying. So I bring a pair of fingernail clippers for myself, and I also bring a pair of fingernail clippers for other people if they need to borrow them. I like these big ones because they can also do toenails, because it's also really painful when you have long toenails and climb, especially when you have aggressive shoes like I do. The third thing that I bring is tape. So tape is also really good for flappers. Maybe you don't want to put Loctite super glue on your hands. Tape is really good to cover up some of those flappers, but it's also really good for crack climbing. I have a lot of scars on the back of my knuckles from trying cracks and ripping off skin. Sometimes it's good padding there, but I've also used it during mid-session. I might have a slight tweak in a finger, and it just reminds me to not use that finger as much as I should. And frankly, I probably shouldn't be climbing even if I have a tweak or an injury, but I know that you, as a climber, are going to climb on an injury anyway, just like me. So tape is very useful for so many different situations. There's also a game called Add-On that you can play where there are multiple players and each person adds on a hold, and tape is really good to mark which holds if you have a really long game. So these are 3 necessities that I think every single climber should bring with them in their chalk bag or chalk bucket.
Videos are made possible by viewers like you. Thank you so much. If you would, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Helps me out a ton, helps make more videos, and supports the channel more than you could ever know. Thanks a ton. Take care. Climb hard and stay chalky.